Ingenio Bioactivo, el podcast de la Escuela de Ingeniería Bioquímica, vinculando bioprocesos, contingencia y sociedad. Hola, bienvenidos a un nuevo episodio del podcast Ingenio Bioactivo de la Escuela de Ingeniería Bioquímica. Hoy estamos con Bartacek. Él es profesor y director del Departamento de Tecnología del Agua e Ingeniería de la University of Chemistry and Technology de Praga, de la República Checa. How are you?
Thank you, fine. Thank you for having me in the show.
Thank you for joining us today. Bueno, mi primera pregunta es, what is the main field of study at your department?
So my department focuses in general on water technology. That's the main field. We do activities connected to wastewater treatment and also to drinking water production. We do studies including microbiology related subjects, so also about safety of drinking water supply, and basically all the activities of the groups which are at the department somehow circulate around the recovery of resources from wastewater.
And what is resource recovery? Like, what type of resources can we recover from wastewater?
So as the societies manage water resources, we more and more are shifting from the linear type of schemes where we just withdraw high quality sources of drinking water, then we use them in cities, and later we just dispose the waste. And as the human societies become more complex, then also the countries are more densely populated, we shift towards a circular approach. So we try to limit the amount of resources we utilize, and we try to recycle them as in any activities, also in the water management. So we try, when we use the water in our households, for instance, we try to take it later, not to just waste it somewhere, but we try to withdraw any resources that can be found in wastewater. And it's indeed mainly water as such. It's 99.9% of wastewater is actually water, so it's nice to reuse it in cities or in agriculture and so on. And then it can be also, for instance, energy, so either heat or maybe energy transformed to methane that can be later used for electricity production or heating households and so on. We also have projects on materials circulation, which can be in more simple way, for instance, phosphorus or nitrogen as a fertilizers to be used in agriculture, but we are increasingly trying to focus on high value resources, so specific types of lipids, for instance, that can be sold for a higher price. And lately we also focus on a kind of resource which is more maybe surprising or specific, but it's information. So we look, for instance, on the information of pharmaceuticals that people use. We look at different diseases that can be or the viruses, for instance, that can be found in wastewaters, to follow the general health of the population. And also, as we focus on these resource recovery topics, for instance, if we look at the water recovery in agriculture or for other purposes, we also look more and more at these barriers which jeopardize the activities towards water reuse, which is to large extent the presence of pharmaceuticals of water. So that's also a big topic, to removal of pharmaceuticals from wastewater.
Okay, so what kind of pharmaceuticals can we find in wastewater, and why do you think it's important to remove them?
Okay, as I said, we look at the information value of wastewater, and that's because actually anything that people do in their daily life, whatever they consume, it will somehow sooner or later put the traces into wastewater, of course. So anything you eat, any pharmaceuticals, any pills you take, any drugs you take, will in one form or the other, either somehow metabolized or often not metabolized, come to wastewater through urine and through feces, of course. So then we can measure it. We can see how much of antibiotics is, for instance, used in the society. But we also know that these compounds may create problems later, either if you reuse or if you just dispose the wastewater into the environment. Those compounds are often biologically active, typically antibiotics. Those are compounds produced to kill microorganisms. So it is nice if you need to heal from a disease, but then if you send those into the river, they continue killing microorganisms or even higher organisms in our ecosystems. And also if you want to go for the water reuse, this is one of the big problems. For instance, if you want to reuse water for irrigation of agricultural crops, of course you don't want antibiotics to go into the crops that we are growing and eating or giving to animals or whatever. So it is very important to look more in detail and to remove these. And also, if you just release these chemicals into our rivers, for instance, which may be later used for production of drinking water, you really need to make sure that pharmaceuticals are not there, because we don't want to have pharmaceuticals in our drinking water that we drink every day. So it is very important that we look closely at this topic and we pay attention to it.
Okay, yeah, I agree that it's very important to continue to investigate about pharmaceuticals, how to remove them, because it's something that will affect everybody.
Yeah, of course. It is a serious problem of today.
Yes. So thank you very much for joining us today.
It was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Y a los que nos están escuchando, los dejamos invitados a escuchar el próximo episodio de este podcast, y también que estén atentos a las redes sociales de la Escuela de Ingeniería Bioquímica, el LinkedIn, el Instagram y también el canal de YouTube y el Spotify. Nos vemos. Gracias por escucharnos. Te invitamos a que nos sigas en todas nuestras redes sociales. Nos vemos en el próximo episodio.